Chidi, why her? Of all the women in this world, why my best friend Uju? Why her?
The room froze. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. "I'm in love with your friend." The words shattered the silence. Nkechi stared at Chidi, then slowly turned to Uju, her best friend, the woman she trusted. The woman she trusted with her son. For a moment, she just stared, waiting for denial. Nothing came. Her face changed. "You knew." Uju shook her head. "Nkechi, please. You knew. Nkechi, listen to me. You knew." The scream hit the room. Uju flinched. Tears filled her eyes. "Nkechi, after everything between us," her voice broke. "You think I would betray you like this?" Nkechi laughed bitterly. "Do what?" Tears streamed down her face. "You want me to ignore what I just heard?" Uju shook her head. "Chidi is like my son." That sentence snapped the room. Not anymore. Silence. Heavy. Nkechi stepped forward. Now it all makes sense. Uju frowned. "What?" "Your relationships." "Uju, stop. Your engagement that failed." "Nkechi, stop. Because you wanted my son." The room exploded.
No! Uju screamed, tears falling. No! The accusation shattered her. "Mom, stop!" Chidi stepped forward. All eyes turned. "This is on me." Silence. "I told her. I chased her. I confessed. I kissed her." Nkechi froze. "You what?" Uju shut her eyes. Chidi continued. "She rejected me more than once. She told me it was wrong. She wanted to take me to a therapist. Stop blaming her." Nkechi shook her head. "No, Mom, no." She pointed at Uju. "She is the adult. She is old enough to give birth to you." Chidi stepped forward. "So am I." Silence. "I'm 22. I'm old enough." That was the breaking point. Slap. The sound cracked the room. Chidi's head snapped sideways. Uju gasped. Silence dropped instantly. Nkechi grabbed his wrist. "You're not thinking right. Let's go. Mom, let's go." She turned to Uju. Her voice broke. "I trusted you, and you destroyed my son. I will never forgive you." She dragged Chidi toward the door. Grandma came out of the room, confused. "What is happening?" No answer. Nkechi wiped her tears. "Grandma, good day. Ask your granddaughter," and left. Chidi turned toward Uju and whispered, "I'm sorry." The door slammed. Silence swallowed the room. Uju stood frozen, broken, while Grandma stared in confusion. And for the first time, Uju understood something she could never undo. Her life had just changed forever. Uju stood frozen. Grandma's voice came again from the hallway. "Uju, what is going on?" Silence. Uju slowly lifted her face. Her eyes were wet. "I will tell you later, Grandma." Her voice was barely audible. She turned away immediately and walked straight to her room. The door closed softly. But inside her chest, everything broke at once.
Every word Nkechi had thrown at her replayed again and again. You wanted my son. You destroyed him. You betrayed my trust. Uju sank onto the bed, hands over her face, and cried like she had never cried before. Meanwhile, in Nkechi's house in Enugu, Nkechi was still pacing. Anger refusing to settle. Pain refusing to calm. Chidi stood near the wall, watching her, quiet but firm. You are going to Abuja with me tomorrow. Chidi didn't blink. No. Nkechi froze. What did you say? I said no. I'm not a child to be dragged around. Silence dropped. Heavy. Cold. You are coming with me, Chidi, whether you like it or not, except you want to kill me before my time. He stepped forward, voice steady. No. Then added, if you don't apologize to your best friend, I'm not going anywhere with you. Nkechi's face tightened. Apologize to who? Chidi nodded. To Uju? Silence. His voice sharpened. I know you're angry, but I'm the one you should be angry at. Nkechi stared at him, completely stunned. Not her. Me. His jaw clenched. She did nothing wrong. Silence again. You think she destroyed me? A bitter laugh escaped him. No. His voice dropped. I was already breaking long before her. Nkechi's breathing slowed. Confusion creeping in. Chidi's eyes turned glassy. Without her, I wouldn't even be here right now. Silence fell. He stepped closer. Every time I wanted to give up, she stopped me. Every time I felt like I had nothing, she gave me a reason to continue. She is the reason I wanted to become better. A pause. And you're blaming her? His voice hardened. You didn't even give her a chance to explain, and you call yourself a friend. That's selfish. Silence again. Heavy. Chidi turned away. I'm done talking. He walked into his room and shut the door hard. Nkechi stood still, then slowly sank into a chair, her hands trembling, her breathing uneven. For the first time, anger had nowhere left to stand. Only pain remained. The next morning, silence filled the house. Nkechi was already packed. Her decision made. She was taking Chidi to Abuja. No apology, no return to Uju, just distance. She walked towards his room. Chidi, we are leaving. No response. She frowned. Chidi? Still silence. She pushed the door open. Empty. The bed untouched. The room quiet. Then her eyes dropped. His bag was gone. Nkechi froze. She rushed through the house. Chidi? No answer. She checked outside. Nothing. No sign. No note. No goodbye. Just silence and the empty space where her son had been. Days passed. Still no Chidi. No calls. No return. Nothing. And in that silence, Nkechi finally understood something she didn't want to accept. She had lost him, not to Uju, but to everything she refused to understand. Nkechi couldn't believe it. She looked for Chidi everywhere. At school, his friends, his usual places. Nothing. No Chidi. Only voicemail. Every call. Beep, voicemail. Beep, voicemail. Meanwhile, Uju didn't even know. She was still in her pain, unaware that Chidi had disappeared again. Still broken from everything that had happened. Then Chidi sent a message. I'm sorry for everything, for causing you this pain, and for those hurtful words my mother said to you. I'm really sorry. I'll make sure I never come near you again. That last line hit Uju hard. Even in her pain, she froze, worried. She tried calling immediately. No response. His phone was off. Silence. The next day, Nkechi broke down completely. She gathered courage and went to Uju's house. When she saw Uju, she collapsed into tears. I'm sorry, Uju. Her voice broke. I'm sorry for everything I said to you, for hurting you. She shook her head. I was jealous, because Chidi loves you more than me, his mother. Silence. I saw the bond. It's powerful. I'm only his mother, but you. She paused. You are more than a mother to him. Tears kept falling. I didn't appreciate you enough for everything you've done for us since childhood. I didn't even let you explain. I was a terrible friend. Her voice broke completely. Please save my son, our son. Chidi has been gone for days. You are the only one who can bring him back. Please. Uju stood frozen, shocked. She exhaled slowly. I kept telling Chidi it was wrong. I even planned to take him to therapy. I think he got too attached because I loved him like my own child. It confused him. Now he thinks it's love, that I might see him a man, not a son. Silence. Nkechi kept crying. Sorry, sorry, again and again. Then they hugged, both crying, both broken. Later that day, Uju picked up her phone and texted Chidi. Your mother is here with me. Please come back home. Finish your final year exams. Don't throw away your future. She pressed send and waited. Silence answered her. The next morning, Uju's phone vibrated. A message from Chidi. She opened it immediately. I'm okay. Tell Mom not to worry. A pause. Then another message. I'm preparing for my final year exams. I will make sure I graduate with good grades. I won't allow everything you both invested in me to go to waste. Uju smiled for the first time in days. A genuine smile. Relief washed over her. Later, she showed the message to Nkechi. Nkechi's eyes filled with tears. Not tears of pain, but relief. At least he was alive. At least he was safe. Before leaving Enugu, Nkechi apologized again for her words, for her accusations, for the damage she caused. Even though deep down, she knew something had changed forever. The friendship was still there, but the innocence was gone. The trust she broke would never fully return. Uju apologized anyway. Then Nkechi returned to Abuja, and life moved forward. A week later, Chidi sat for his final year exams and passed with excellent grades in business administration, just as he promised. Graduation day arrived. Nkechi came from Abuja, along with her 2 younger children, a boy and a girl. The family celebrated. Pictures, laughter, pride, a future finally beginning. But one person was missing. Uju. She didn't come. Not because she wasn't proud. She was very proud. But she believed distance was the right thing. Maybe if she stayed away, he would finally move on. Maybe if she disappeared from his daily life, the feelings would fade. But they didn't. Because every day, Chidi still thought about her. The little things reminded him. A joke, a meal, a song, a memory. And no matter how busy he became, he missed her. Meanwhile, Uju wasn't doing much better. At first, she convinced herself it was normal. Of course she missed him. She helped raise him. He had been part of her life for years. Anyone would miss him. That was what she kept telling herself. But as time passed, the feeling didn't leave. Instead, it grew. She missed his voice, missed his random visits, missed seeing him walk through her door. And that realization frightened her. Life continued anyway. Uju focused on her fashion business, and it kept flourishing as usual. New clients, new contracts, new success. Nkechi buried herself in work too, building her reputation as a lawyer, working harder than ever. Everyone was moving forward. At least, that was what it looked like.
Then, another opportunity arrived. A master's degree in the United States, and Chidi took it. When Uju heard the news, part of her felt relieved. Thousands of miles away, a new environment, a fresh start. Maybe this would finally help him move on. Maybe this would fix everything. But another part of her heart felt strangely empty, because now he was truly gone. And during his time in America, nothing changed. Chidi still thought about her, more than he wanted to admit, more than he should have. One evening, he picked up his phone and called. The line rang, then connected. Hello? Uju's voice. Chidi froze completely. For a few seconds, he couldn't speak, couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Then he disconnected immediately. Back in Nigeria, Uju stared at her phone, confused. The number was unfamiliar, but somehow she knew. A small smile appeared on her face, and her heart warmed unexpectedly. Because whether she wanted to admit it or not, she was happy. Happy that he hadn't forgotten her. Happy that somewhere across the ocean, he still thought about home. She told herself it was motherly affection, nothing more. But deep down, her heart was beginning to want something her mind refused to name. Then, 1 year passed. Chidi completed his master's degree, returned to Nigeria, and came back with bigger dreams, bigger plans, and enough knowledge to start his own business. But there was one thing he left America without: the ability to forget Uju. At 24, Chidi had become everything people expected him to become. Disciplined, focused, successful. After returning from America, he settled in Enugu. Not close to Uju's house, not close to her business, far away. Far enough to avoid accidentally seeing her. Or so he told himself. One weekend, he traveled to Abuja to visit his family. During dinner, Nkechi finally asked the question that had been bothering her. Why Enugu? Chidi looked up. What do you mean?
You could have settled in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja, anywhere. A pause. Why not Enugu? Silence. Then she sighed. It's Uju, isn't it? Chidi gave a small, tired smile. Mom, you already know the answer. Nkechi closed her eyes. For a moment, she had hoped she was wrong, but she wasn't. Years had passed, and nothing had changed. Then, Chidi spoke again, very calmly. I still think about her every day. Silence filled the room. I haven't forgotten her. A pause. And I don't think I ever will. Nkechi. His mother shook her head. Why? He gave a faint, tired laugh. You don't teach your heart who to love. I tried. America didn't change it. Distance didn't change it. Time didn't change it. His voice softened. She's still the reason I want to be better. The reason I wanted to become a man worth respecting. Nkechi looked away, heartbroken. Not angry, just hot for him, because she could hear it. This wasn't obsession. This was real. Then she tried again. When your business grows, get married. Chidi let out a short laugh. Not happy, just tired. Mom, a pause. I don't think I'll ever get married. Nkechi froze. What? I'm serious. Silence. And for the first time, fear entered her heart. A question she didn't want to ask formed inside her. What if this never ends? Days later, Chidi returned to Enugu and launched his business, a textile company. Importation, distribution, manufacturing partnerships. Within 6 months, the business exploded. Profits climbed, new contracts arrived, investors paid attention. Everyone could see it. He was building something powerful. But emotionally, nothing had changed. Then, one afternoon, everything shifted. Uju had just finished a meeting with one of her biggest fashion clients in a plaza. The deal had gone perfectly. She stepped outside toward her car, smiling. Then, suddenly, she stopped. A few feet away, someone else had stopped too. Chidi. Silence. Both of them froze completely. Uju's heart skipped. She hadn't even known he was back in Nigeria, not to talk of seeing him here in Enugu. For a moment, neither of them spoke, neither of them moved. Chidi's heartbeat slammed in his chest, hard, because standing in front of him was Uju, the same woman, beautiful, elegant, familiar, and somehow even more breathtaking than he remembered. Meanwhile, Uju couldn't look away. The boy she once knew was gone. In his place stood a man, confident, successful, mature. And without warning, her chest tightened, a feeling she couldn't explain. Neither of them spoke, because after everything, after the years, after the distance, fate had brought them face to face again. The moment their eyes met, time seemed to stop. Neither of them expected this. Not here. Not now. Not after everything. Uju was the first to recover. Chidi, a small smile appeared on her face. Wow, you're back. Chidi smiled, still looking at her. Yeah, I'm back. A few minutes later, they sat together inside a cafe in the plaza, talking, laughing, catching up on the years they had lost. It felt easy, too easy, and that scared Uju. When it was finally time to leave, both of them hesitated. Neither wanted the moment to end. But Uju forced herself to stand. I should go. Chidi nodded. but the disappointment in his eyes was impossible to hide. That night, neither of them slept well. Oju couldn't stop thinking about him, the confident man he had become, the way he smiled, the way he looked at her. Meanwhile, Chidi couldn't think about anything else, because after all these years, he was still hopelessly in love with her. And now, for the first time, he believed she might feel something too. Days later, he visited her office, then again and again, sometimes at work, sometimes at her home. Each visit made things harder because Oju finally understood the truth. She loved him too. One afternoon, she looked at him and said, "Chidi, stop visiting me." The smile on his face faded. "Why?" "Because you're making this harder." Silence. But Chidi didn't stop. Years of love were not going to disappear that easily. Then one evening, he came to her house, knocked, no answer, knocked again, still nothing. Rain began to fall, heavy, cold, but Chidi refused to leave. Inside the house, Oju stood behind the door listening. Then she heard his voice. "I never stopped loving you." Silence. "I tried, but I failed." Rain soaked his clothes completely. Still, he stayed. "I loved you then. I love you now. And I'll probably love you tomorrow." Tears filled Oju's eyes. Finally, she opened the door. Their eyes met. Chidi stepped closer, his voice barely above a whisper. "Tell me you don't feel the same." Silence. "Tell me, and I'll walk away forever." Oju opened her mouth, but no words came, because she couldn't lie. Chidi waited, then slowly turned to leave. "Okay." He took a few steps. "Chidi." He stopped immediately. Her voice trembled. "Please wait." A smile broke across his face. He turned back. Oju was crying. "I tried not to love you. I fought it. I ran from it, but I couldn't." Chidi's heart pounded. Then she whispered, "I love you too." Everything changed. In one moment, in one sentence, Chidi pulled her into his arms, holding her tightly, like he had waited a lifetime for those words. Then he kissed her gently and smiled. Later that night, Oju looked at him. "What about your mother?" Chidi smiled. "Mom already knows. She knows I can't stop loving you. I'm sure she knows we're meant to be." "And what about people?" Chidi took her hand. "Don't think about what people will say." Then he said softly, "I know you are thinking about our age difference." A pause. "But I don't see age when I look at you. I see the love of my life. I see the woman I'm in love with." His eyes held hers. "And if you are honest with yourself, you feel the same." Oju smiled through her tears because he was right. After years of fighting it, her heart had finally surrendered. And sometimes, love arrives in ways nobody expects. Sometimes, it asks people to look beyond numbers, beyond fear, beyond judgment. Because in the end, true love isn't measured by age, it's measured by the hearts involved. And real love has no barrier in age. The end.